Every game has some sort of limit, from charm notches in Hollow Knight to inventory slots in Peak, and Blocktails follows this exactly, with its cards being limited to a max of 30 BP. But what if we, broke this rule? And with the power of editing, I'm going to show you what would be the result of ignoring this important balance. Now, we're going to go over two different outcomes. The first, where we're at level 1, and every single card is forcefully equipped. And the second, where we are at level 15, and we get to actually choose what cards we want to use instead. So basically, uncontrollable versus controllable chaos. Upon first entering a battle, your eyes probably pan to the player's stats. You can see that we have a max of 35 HP and 30 SP. This is because of our 5 HP and SP pluses. There's also a whole +6 defense from our 3 defenders and defend pluses, but the thing that really surprised me was our measly -1 attack. And sadly, it's capped at -1. However, if it wasn't capped, our attack stat would have reached a whopping -16 attack. Maybe it's a good thing that it's capped after all. Moving up to our abilities, you'll definitely notice that both our sword and ball slots are completely gone. Baller Knight, or Slingshot and Rocket Man overlap with each other, which completely removes them, which means that every single weapon card has become unusable. But that just means that we can go see the star of this build. Oh my god, they don't even fit on the screen! I don't think the game was meant to fit 25 different moves. Now that we're familiar with our build, it's time to ask the question of whether it's actually good. No, the answer is no. Well, kinda? You see, when I meant every card, I meant every card. With difficulty cards equipped, this basically becomes hell mode, but a little sillier. But hypothetically, if we didn't equip those cards, would this still be good? Well, yeah, it's actually really good. It is extremely versatile. It has fantastic defensive, supportive, and aggressive potential. There's a card for almost every single situation, no matter how specific it is, and you can constantly buff a summon or ally with powerful buffs. Since with every copy for each card being equipped, all 22 of our new options are at their strongest form. However, that's also where the downside comes into play. With each card being at their max potential, their SP cost is at its highest as well. And since we only have 30 SP, it's gonna get drained very quickly. Now there is a fix to this, but it's a very long and boring one. With SP Drain, Lucky Start, SP Saver, Good Vibes, SP Regen Plus, and Happy SP, we can eventually regain our SP. But to do so, you're gonna have to sacrifice a bunch of turns, which is pretty boring. And sometimes that's all you need to just throw the strategy out of the window. But outside of that, while it is lacking in raw damage, it's amazing at buffing others or simply chipping the enemies away, slowly but surely. Alright, let's take a look at outcome number 2. Obviously, this build could realistically be anything, only being limited by the maximum copies per card. You could just take all the benefits from the last build and add on whichever weapon you prefer, or even just copy the last build 1-to-1, but now with your height and level cap, just invest a lot more in SP. You could also use the weapon cards, now that you have a lot more SP and just the option to use them in the first place. This is just a smidge of what you could do with this much power, and obviously I can't cover every single possibility in this video, but there is one thing that I absolutely want to check out, and that's the weapons that we were previously forced to skip. With control over the chaos, we can choose the cards best suited for each weapon. Sword and Ball are the most interesting, since they have the most unique options compared to Slingshot and Rocket Launcher. Sword really shines since it can not only maximize its damage output, but also stun, weaken, chip away, and even hit multiple targets for good damage, whilst being the most consistent option overall. All of its status effects last really long as well, and they work in perfect harmony together. Ball becomes a straight up menace. Sure, its damage is a bit lower, but by using our loadout options, we can turn it into a crowd control and shut down demon. It has really good odds of putting enemies out of commission for a long time, allowing you to farm SP, HP, NRG, really anything. It might not kill things as quickly, but does that really matter when the enemy can't even hit you in the first place? Slingshot and Rocket really aren't as interesting. Slingshot doesn't benefit as much as the others from the effects in SP, since you really just need 2 damage cards and you'll have their full potential. So it kinda remains the exact same damage route as before. Rocket Launcher would actually be extremely powerful if only the splash damage would apply status effects to everyone hit, and not just the initial target. So because of that, it's basically a weaker ball. You actually can constantly regain a lot of HP by combining Hit Marker, Happy HP, HP Drain, and by investing a lot of health, but you'll usually never get the upper hand on the enemy Okay, I think that's everything. But before you go, I want to mention that I made a Hat in Time video that is definitely worth checking out. I put my heart and soul into that video, and I'm sure that even if you don't know anything about the game, you'd enjoy it. Ooh, and thank you so much for 1,500 subscribers. My god, that's a big number. I am so grateful for all the support that I've gotten on my videos and just on my YouTube journey as a whole. And yeah, just thank you. Okay, I'm done talking. See you next time.